paid for it. You had it too long. That's number one. We need to control the purchasing of fuel because we pay for it, we should be in charge of buying it. The fuel companies, you better buckle up too. Jackson Point Pipeline have to be reverted back to the ownership of the country. Oh, Mario, you can't tell them how to operate their business. Well, yes, we can. Having this idea that you're going to impose what's best because of what the law tells you can do will cause an uprising in this country that you've never seen before. My children are going to be. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Word of Mouth. Today is the 28th of April. That means we are 2 days away from the general election. And we have in studios Miss Jewel Hides, who's running in West Bay. And I can tell you, there's a lot of talk going around about politics clearly because it's 2 days away from the general election. But one thing I've noticed is that there's been a lot of extreme efforts by the $1 million spenders. I can tell you that. But again, we focus on a positive narrative. We try to promote and get people who actually understand and sees the issues and can relate to people. And since I've been talking with Jewel, and it's not the first time you're winding down, and to find this little bit of time to come on here is kind of scarce now because you're 2 days away from the next general election, and I don't even want to look on your agenda. I don't want to know what I look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because West Bay is one of the biggest districts in the Cayman Islands. So you gotta remember now, there's a lot of work to be done there. So welcome back to Word of Mouth, and I know you want to share with your constituency and the island as a whole some of the things that you have in mind, and just reiterate some of the things you've been doing over the last couple of months on your campaign trail.
Yeah.
So good morning to our followers and our watchers.
Good morning. Thank you, Mario, for having me on to your show. And good morning, Cayman Islands. I wanted to take a few minutes to just come on here to really just say thanks. Thanks to the Cayman Islands. Thanks to the people of West Bay Central and the people in West Bay in general. You guys have opened your doors to me. You've welcomed me in with smiles and opening arms and huge embraces. And I want you to know that I don't take that lightly. I don't take that for granted because you could have done something else, but you welcomed me into your homes. And I've learned so much talking to you, the constituents of West Bay Central. And I want you to know that the information you've shared with me, I have that fully typed up, and I intend to take that to the Parliament with me when I am elected on the 30th, because that is the mandate that you, the people, have given me. These are the things that you told me you want me to action. And I intend to do that, ladies and gentlemen. It is far too long you, the voters, have just been treated as non-essential to the politicians. They only see it fit to come to you every 4 years. That will not be me. I have been through the challenges that you have been through because I too am a resident of West Bay Central and a voter in West Bay Central. So I have the same pains, the same disappointments that you have felt. I have felt them with you. The same challenges, we have all faced them together. And I want to say, because a lot of people are saying, oh, she's talking a lot, but she's not going to get anything done. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not fooled, or I am not deceiving myself of the challenges and the hurdles that we will have to take care of once I am elected. I know that there's a lot of work to be done, but I am ready and I am equipped to work for you, the people of West Bay Central and the wider Cayman Islands. When someone has a love for people and a passion for the Cayman Islands, many things can be achieved. And that is what I am going into the parliament with: passion and love for my people and my country. My mouth, ladies and gentlemen, will not be zipped because I was not sponsored by big money companies or big money individuals. I funded 80 to 90% of my campaign myself. I got some donations, but they are not that kind of donation that is going to make me go to the parliament and owe anyone any commitment. The only people I will owe in the parliament a commitment to is you, the people of the Cayman Islands and West Bay Central.
Mhm.
You are who I am fighting for. You are who has allowed me to step forward because far too long I have not seen anyone fight for us in this country. And I could no longer sit by the sidelines, ladies and gentlemen. I could no longer do it. So I want you to know what I'm telling you at my meetings and in our discussions in your home. I am prepared and I will work to ensure your voices are heard and the things you want me to accomplish, I will accomplish. Hard work is nothing strange to me. What drives me and puts me in this race is your voices and my love for my people and the Cayman Islands.
Thank you, Jewel, for that. And listening to you, I couldn't help but, get goosebumps in some of the things that you said because, it's not often that we get to hear someone say passionately, the true reasons for wanting to become a public servant. And I know that a lot of people mean well. I don't want to take away from anyone who has taken the bravery to run for politics. We know that it takes a lot. You're absolutely right. It's not going to be a walk in the park. There are a lot of hurdles you're going to have to cross. There's a lot of issues that you're going to have to face right out of the gates. But what has happened over the last 25, 30 years is that those very same promises that were made have become these things that they put on back burners and they fell out of the priority category, and we don't see them being something that they categorize as priority, so they don't materialize.
Yes.
And then before you know it, the election cycle is over and then you're back championing the same things.
Yes.
So again, I think that it's very critical at this moment because Cayman has never ever been in a position where information is widely available.
Yes.
Mean you could say something wrong right on this right now, and before you get out of this building downstairs,
Mm.
everybody in Cayman would have seen it
Seen
or
it.
heard about it,
Yes.
or if they hadn't, it's on the way. So we have to be extremely careful what we decide to do. And that's why I take my hat off, not only to you, but to all persons who are challenging for a seat in this upcoming election as a new candidate. Why? Because you guys are brave enough to take on these challenges that are being heavily watched with a microscopic scope by the general public. And I can tell you, no good deed goes unpunished. And a lot of people don't really understand what's at stake here, not only from a reputational standpoint, but from your ability to be a normal person even after the fact.
Yes.
It's hard. We have seen this. So, you know, I I've watched and listened to a lot of politicians through this whole campaign process. And it's not often you see somebody who is consistently talking about the same things and understanding. But you said something on the onset of your average person.
Yes.
We've seen the 16-foot billboards,
Mhm.
and I'm not exaggerating. Normally we say we got 100,000 cows in our pasture when it's only 10, but I can tell you there are literally 16-foot billboards, littered around these islands with electronic monitors and all sorts of advertisement things. Can you imagine the single mother or the single father driving down the road with their children in a car that's on fumes, trying to go somewhere to get money to buy food for their children, driving across the hundreds of thousands of dollars of campaign material just so you can elect them to do exactly what they've been campaigning on for 40 years? You know,
Mhm.
I think that it's come a time, Joel, because as you said, you there to work for them. You want them to be able to be comfortable enough to know that you're accessible and that you are a champion in these things. So
Mhm.
we can't let the ambitions of your manifesto and the things that you set out to do become lost in translation. And like I said, it's 2 days away.
Yes.
It's 2 days away, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make the right choice for the right reasons. You understand? I don't want to get involved with the finger pointing. I just want to see right people for the right reasons get elected.
Yeah, and you make a lot of valid points there, and I don't want to really forget this because it's been so instrumental on my journey. I want to also thank the prayer warriors in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
God has sent people that I know, people that I don't know, just calling and saying, "Hey, I'm praying for you. I think you will do well. I'm looking forward to change." And I just want to really thank God and those prayer warriors
Yeah.
for praying for me because I cannot do this alone.
Mm,
I cannot do this alone. And
yeah.
I don't want to do it alone. I want to do it with God by my side, and I want to do it with the Caymanian people by my side. This is our country, and we need warriors. We need fighters, people who will fight for us in Parliament. We have not had that kind of representation in forever. I don't see anyone out there right now that I would say is a warrior for the people. We need more warriors, and I will be that warrior for you, West Bay Central, and I will also be that warrior for the people of these islands. And I really, really want to thank you all. Up till today, I am just getting so
Yeah.
many messages of encouragement, so many messages of hope. And I want you to know those messages is what fuels me to keep going and to
Mhm.
keep fighting for us, the average Caymanian. We need change. And I promise that I will not let you down. I will not let God down, and I will not let the people of the Cayman Islands down. Hard work is nothing strange to me, as I've said before, and I am in it for you guys. I am in it for us. We need to do this together.
Mhm. Joel, I've been, like I said earlier, I watching this campaign evolve, and there are some good people out there that are trying to
Mhm.
install themselves to be contributors,
Yes.
and it's encouraging because at one point I was getting very discouraged with politics. As we see a lot more younger people getting involved, we see a lot of other people getting involved with the conversation, the solutions. We have different platforms. you know we could sit here and have an opinion about everything when it comes to information, but what's really beneficial to us all is that there is a sector of our society now
Yes.
that is forcefully being in a position to pay attention.
Mhm.
Because in every social circle you have, there's always someone who watched something that you didn't see,
Mhm.
and they'll mention it,
Yeah.
and then it becomes an awareness sort of thing. And that's why I think this particular election cycle is critical. And I know that you have one more day to prepare yourself. I'm not
Yes.
sure if you have any last meetings. Are you having a meeting tomorrow?
Yes, I am actually having a meeting tomorrow at 7:30 in West Bay. It's going to be at the Lamar Plaza, Parsons AC. Many people will know where that's located on Badabanu Road. So it's going to be at 7:30. It's going to be a very informative and exciting evening We're going to have wonderful speakers. Raul Nicholson Cole will be there speaking, and also Sammy Jackson will be there speaking as well.
Awesome.
And we have some endorsements as well from a new young voter, and also from some cancer patients that I assisted in the past. So it's going to be a very exciting and informative evening. If you haven't met me as yet, please come out. I'm looking forward. I want to meet as much voters as I can, but I know it's difficult sometimes with people's schedule and that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
But I want to encourage any voter who I may not have seen to feel free to give me a call, 938-1960. That's my personal number, not a number for an election campaign. I've had that number for so many years I can't even remember. Please feel free, call me. I want to chat with you. I want to find out your concerns because, as my slogan says, let's reclaim our future together.
Hmm.
At this stage, many of us don't even feel like we have a future.
That's for
But
sure.
we have to change that. And Cayman, our country, is worth fighting for. You, the people, are worth fighting for. And that's why I've put myself in this race. I don't need a job. It's all about you, the Caymanian people. That is where my heart is. That is where my heart will always be.
Mhm.
And that is where I will focus once I am elected as the new MP for West Bay Central.
Wow, thank you, Jewel, and I sincerely wish you all the best, and I'm praying and I'm hoping, and that prayer warriors thing I know is real. I can tell you, December 29th, 2021, when I had my accident, trust me, prayer warriors pulled me through,
Mhm.
and I have no doubt in my mind that it had not been for the power of prayer, I wouldn't be here right now,
Yes.
and of course for my children being home at the right time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I give great thanks for that, and Jewel, I really appreciate that you take the time to come and address people on public platforms. Um, these things are important because it shows your flexibility. It shows that you are willing to, make that adjustment in order to accommodate. And
Yes.
that's what's important.
Mhm.
Sometimes, Jewel, people just want you to answer the phone.
Mhm.
They just want
Yes.
to hear you say, hey,
Yes.
how you
Yes.
doing? Or even if
Yes.
you say, I'll call you back in 5 minutes.
Yes.
I can tell you, it's
Yes.
just that relatability, that
Yes.
connection.
Yes.
I know for sure that these islands are lacking in the entirety of unity amongst all of our
Mhm.
constituencies
Mhm.
because we're all Caymanians at the end of the
Yes.
day.
Yes.
One of the main requirements to be eligible to run is that you're a Caymanian,
Yes.
right? So that right there speaks volumes in how we should
Mhm.
treat each other, how we should be
Yes.
respectful, and how we
Yes.
should embrace. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, after tomorrow, after the 30th of April, no matter who is elected, they're going to be our representatives.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that we also continue to partake. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you had already made, I'm sure you did flyers and stuff for your rally
Mhm.
and stuff.
Mhm.
It's 7 p.m. at the
7:30. 7:30.
7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the Parsons
AC.
AC
Yeah.
place. So,
I just wanted to say one more thing that you triggered when you spoke just now, and I said it on my first public meeting. I am not going to be that kind of representative that segregates between constituencies. And what I mean by that, yes, I will be responsible for West Bay Central, but if someone from West Bay West, West Bay North
mhm,
comes to me or comes to my office and needs help, I would be willing to help those. We have too much segregation
yeah,
going on in this country, and I'm not going to be about that. I want to be very inclusive, and it isn't limited to West Bay. So if someone from Georgetown moves down to West Bay and they're registered in, for example, Georgetown Central,
mhm, mhm,
and they need advice, they can come to my office. That is how I plan to operate
mhm,
as the member of parliament for West Bay Central. And it would really be remiss of me not to thank my wonderful and loyal committee members. They have been the rock that has carried me through this. And I want to really say a special thank you to them and a special thanks to my brother, Brent for his support.
Hmm.
They have all been the rock that has encouraged me and kept me organized and have just been there for me. And I want to tell my committee members a big thanks. And I look forward to being elected and working with them to make Cayman a better place for Caymanians.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome, Jewel. And for you to say that you're willing to work with all constituencies in West Bay and in Cayman in general, but that goes a long way in the type of character that you have. And the reason why I say that is because you don't hear a lot of people saying that. Not that they don't mean that or that they
Hmm.
wouldn't do that. I'm
Hmm.
just saying that it's one thing to think it and it's another thing to say it publicly,
Yeah.
especially 2 days before a general election. You understand? And that is the sort of mentality and characteristics that we need to be looking in order to get elected so that we can actually plow a positive path moving forward.
Yes.
We don't want everybody following the same path. We want everybody to have the ability to create their own. You know, like I said, I've been following politics for a very long time. I've been talking about it for a very long time. Some people even criticize me. The other day, there was a post on my place. Person called me a dunce and this and all, and I said, we love your comments. We love all your comments. Keep them coming. But if I was to got detracted and got caught up in a
Hmm.
conversation negatively with that person, that might have lasted for hours, and that's public. So at the end of the day, I'm happy that you're willing to work with all people in West Bay because West Bay is the district of West Bay.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, you
Yes.
pass that cemetery, you win,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
the way I look at that. But thank you again. If there's anything else you want to share with your constituency and the island on a whole, now is the time because word of mouth
Yes.
won't be doing any we're doing a little broadcast tomorrow for Philip,
Okay.
obviously. But after
Okay.
that, we're gonna
Okay.
be Raul Gonzalez, so that'll be tonight. I didn't
Okay.
because I'm not having another show after this. Jewel was a special show that we have in and made sure we had this spot open up for her to come in and address her
Yeah.
constituency and have an opportunity to speak to the people of West Bay.
Yeah, the last thing I would like to say is just to encourage everyone from West Bay Central. Please come out, make your voices heard on April the 30th. The polls open from 7 a.m., they
Mhm.
close at 6. Let us do this, West Bay Central. Let us get better representation. Let us bring and get more positive change for our constituency and for the Cayman Islands as a whole. And I want to encourage everyone in the other districts across the island, go out and exercise your vote. Remember, the voters is the employee. We work for you, ladies and gentlemen. And I can tell you, if the people of West Bay Central elect me on April the 30th, I am going to be someone who's going to be there when the ship and the waves are high and it's very rocky. I am going to be there. I am not going to quit on my people. Ask God to bless you all as you make your decisions. But I look forward to engaging with the people of West Bay Central tomorrow night at 7:30, Parsons AC. Let's do this together. Let's reclaim our future.
Thank you so much, Jewel. I'm really happy that you came in this morning. And your polling station is where again in West Bay?
It's at the Church of God Full Gospel
Hmm.
on Captain Reginald's Parsons Road. So it's not too far from Papagallo. It's the same polling station that it was before. So it's right there. If anybody needs a ride to the polls, please give me a call, 938-1960, or you can call 916-8611. Those two numbers, if you need a ride, we're happy to take you there and to drive you back to your destination.
Awesome. Thank you again. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be doing live broadcasts on as many activities during around election as we can. I can't promise you that I'm gonna be at the election night at like CNN. I won't be doing that. But thank you all for tuning in this morning and listening to Miss Jewel Hides for her last rally around her constituency and giving thanks to all her committee members and all the people that has helped her through this process. And we look forward. She looks forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night at the meeting in
Yes.
West Bay. So
Yes.
thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to tell a friend who know a friend that have a friend. That way, everybody can get the information and share the page. And hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to have this collective responsibility on the outside of cabinet as voters, so that our people that we vote for, we can connect with and we can still talk to. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And I know that, a lot of people is counting down that holiday called Wednesday. You understand? And then we got another one coming up Monday. So enjoy and plan accordingly. Have a good day.
We got to break Sariba up. Sariba is a cartel.
We have to own our grid because we paid for it. You had it too long. That's number one. We need to control the purchasing of fuel because we pay for it. We should be in charge of buying it. The fuel companies, you better buckle up too. Jackson Point pipeline have to be reverted back to the ownership of the country. Oh, Mario, you can't tell them how to operate their business. Well, yes, we can. Having this idea that you're going to impose what's best because of what the law tells you can do will cause an uprising in this country that you've never seen before. My children are going to be saddled with the debt of a billionaire so that he can have his name printed on everything we got around here. Because let me tell you something, this is Dart Island.